Video number 1b, Genesis and Revelation, in all tenses of God, creation, Scripture. Scriptural Calling, Part 1. They will say, "Where is the promise of his coming? For ever since the fathers fell asleep, all things are continually as they were from the beginning of the creation." 2 Peter 2:19. God chose what is low and despised in the world, even things that are not, to bring to nothing things that are. 1 Corinthians 1:28. The infinity of God before all created, even creating, resides in that even nothing was created. Thus, that God is love, Trinity one, before all creating, gives us, from the created states and the progression of all the created, why the various reactions have, are, and will exist in their life. Thus, the phenomenology of creation is found in the law, vision, prophecy, as it is found in God's poetic and creational word. Neither intelligent design nor evolution, without the continual progression of creation within their thought, is worth more than a frozen state of both. Of what unfrozen of both becomes intelligent designing by God, creation, creatures. Why is this not accepted, and what is the result within the created, fallen, and redemptive states? Part 2. It may seem that everything has been the same since the fathers fell asleep, but it has not been the same since the beginning of the creation. For the essence of the progression is the inversion of Genesis through the book of Revelation. The scriptural record and God's poetic and creational word bear this out. The denial of the progression is the intolerance that will harm evangelism. How do you teach the gospel in the age of the good? And what that age is in denial and fear of. It is not enough to make God, creation self, as one and the same, from the state of in the beginning. If there is a denial of the infinity of God in the created states as various relations. The creational dimensions of the book of Revelation are not exclusive to the future tense. It is found in Genesis and is fundamentally present throughout the progression. This makes the progression simultaneously reflective, both in phenomena that is, not word view from all perspectives, as it should be, and how the normalcy of phenomenon is often overlooked and not related to God's poetic and creational word, and how in any given tense other dimensional quantities and qualities are present. The wisdom, discernment, and judgment of use of origin begins with the placement of a phenomenology in all perspectives of what it is in itself, as it relates to God, itself, others. In this, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle of the effect of humans on analysis of lab studies because of their presence in the lab brings back to Genesis through Revelation, as much as the words, "Love is just chemistry," without the follow-up, "What then is chemistry?" Genesis is, in fact, the origin of the book of Genesis, chapter 1 through chapter 9, as context and content all through Scripture. Just as the book of Revelation begins and ends judicially and is embodied in God's relations with creation, creatures, and creating. The book can also be divided interdimensionally as the people of God, the creational order and civilization, Babylon the Great, and the conflict and use of good and evil, ending in only evil before the final ending. This ends video number 1b. Please go to video number 2. Thank you, Joseph.